Welcome to the joint Korea Foundation and Asia Society Switzerland virtual dialogue on K-culture in cooperation with the Korea Cultural Industry Forum. My name is Serena Jung. I'm the program manager at Asia Society Switzerland, coming to you from Zurich. It is indeed K-pop's big moment. Only 2 weeks ago, Dynamite by BTS became the first Korean song to top the Billboard Hot 100. But as many idol groups can thousands or even millions of fans, not only regionally but globally, live concerts and album tours have to get cancelled due to the ongoing pandemic. Today, we want to look at how K-pop has evolved in the last 30 years, becoming a soft power as well as an economic factor for South Korea, and how K-pop is changing the entertainment industry today with strategy and technology. We are very grateful to the Korea Foundation for partnering with us again for this special program. A special thanks goes also to Julianne Lee, who is a board member of the Korea Foundation and a member of Asia Society Switzerland, for connecting us and getting the ball rolling on this program. Before I will introduce today's discussants, leading experts in Korean entertainment industry, we will hear from Professor Lee Gun, President of the Korea Foundation.
Dear colleagues and friends all over the world, as President of the Korea Foundation, it is my great pleasure and honor to welcome you all to the Korea Foundation Asia Society Switzerland virtual dialogue on K-culture. In the past, we tend to think that culture is a kind of operational system of a society or a code of conduct of a society, or if we borrow a Marxist concept, perhaps a superstructure, a part of superstructure. But there were some very original thinkers who started to see the culture as a market or as commodities. And that innovative idea came to almost to perfection by the guests that we have today, particularly the SM Entertainment Group. So I would like to thank the distinguished speakers joining us today, Mr. Youngmin Kim, the Group CEO of the SM Entertainment Group, and Dr. Jang-woo Lee, co-chair of the Korea Culture Industry Forum, and Dr. Jungmin Ko, President of the Future Industry Strategy Institute. From May through June, in collaboration with 6 world leading partner organizations, including Asia Society Switzerland, the Korea Foundation held the KF Virtual Dialogue Series under the theme of COVID-19 Challenges and Opportunities. Today, the KF is pleased to present this special virtual dialogue on K-culture in collaboration with Asia Society Switzerland again. Today's topic is K-pop and online content, how K-pop is changing the entertainment industry in post-corona times. This special dialogue has been designed to discuss how COVID-19 has changed paradigms in entertainment, as well as how the K-entertainment industry is innovatively adapting to the situation as a leading country in the global entertainment business. The novel coronavirus has had an enormous effect on the entertainment sector, with scheduled concerts, musicals, and exhibitions around the world having to be canceled or postponed. But even in these circumstances, K-pop superstars BTS have ranked first on the Billboard Hot 100 singles chart for 2 consecutive weeks, so far with their latest single, Dynamite. This success was the result of innovation in the K-pop industry, particularly led by SM Entertainment Group. Dear colleagues and friends, COVID-19 has changed every aspect of our lives. Some people may say that countless opportunities have evaporated due to the coronavirus, but I believe the challenges we face can pose new opportunities to innovative thinkers. During the coronavirus pandemic, the K-pop industry has exemplified this innovation, quickly adopting new technologies and partnering with tech firms to digitalize K-pop in order to capture the attention of the global audience. For example, SM Entertainment and JYP Entertainment teamed up in partnership with online platform Naver to launch a joint venture called Beyond Live Corp, a streaming concert service. The alliance was forged at the height of the coronavirus pandemic to provide an avenue for K-pop fans to continue enjoying live concerts amid the lockdown. With these efforts, a new chapter of K-pop has been opened. Dear friends, I hope that through today's webinar, we can come together to draw an image of the new future of the entertainment industry, contributing to innovation in global entertainment. On behalf of the Korea Foundation, I would like to once again express my sincere gratitude to the Asia Society Switzerland for co-organizing this dialogue, to the Korea Culture Industry Forum for its cooperation, and to all our viewers for coming together here and now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Yi. Today we will hear from two experts and practitioners, Mr. Kim Young-min, Group CEO of the SM Entertainment Group, and Professor Lee Jang-woo, Co-Chair of the Korea Culture Industry Forum, on the current K-pop landscape, its origins, and its outlook, before moving into discussion with Professor Ko Jung-min, President of the Future Industry Strategy Institute. Please submit your questions and comments using the comment function here on YouTube. We are actively monitoring them. We will try to answer as many as possible. I would now like to introduce our two guest speakers joining us from Seoul, Mr. Kim Young-min, who is the Group CEO of the SM Entertainment Group. SM Entertainment is South Korea's largest entertainment company and one of the drivers behind the musical side of Hallyu, the Korean wave. SM Entertainment represents, among others, artists like Super M, Ghost Generation, Shinee, FX, or EXO. Mr. Kim joined SM Entertainment in 1999 and held C-level positions within the group since 2005, currently also holding the positions of CEO Beyond Live Corporation and CEO SM Entertainment Japan Plus. Professor Lee Jang-woo is a professor of business administration at Gyeongbuk National University. He serves as chairman of several institutions on the interface of culture and economy, among others, the Institute for Success and Economy, the Innovation Economy, the Creative Economy Advisory Committee of the Ministry of Science, ICT, and Future Planning, and the Korea Culture Industry Forum. He has published more than 10 books since Han Management in 1994, including First Mover, Leaders of the Fourth Industrial Revolution, and Creative Management. Mr. Kim, Professor Yi, thank you both so much for joining us today. Mr. Kim, the floor is yours for a short input presentation.
Good evening. My name is Kim Young-min, the Group CEO of SM Entertainment. Great to meet you, everybody. Before I begin, just want to say that there are some disadvantages of this setup because I don't feel like I'm on live. But then what's really good about this setting is that I'm concentrated on the presentation, so I think that's going to boost up my presentation. Okay, so I will begin my presentation. Before I begin, I'm going to introduce you Beyond Live, and I will show you a video that shows you what Beyond Live is.
Beyond Live.
Welcome all of you to the virtual concert. Beyond Live is world's first live concert company as well as a brand that is serviced over the OTT platform. So we use OTT, and our concerts are, in that sense, untacked. And I was thinking about what makes this special. First is that it goes beyond the physical barrier. And secondly, we have to go beyond the limits of the current technology, and it also has to go beyond people's imagination. And we hoped that our concerts will present something like this. Of course, the world is now going to untacked, as you know. And what we're really focusing on right now is that we're not just replacing offline by online. We are coming up with a business model that complements both platforms, off and online. But today I'm going to focus on online concerts. So going beyond the limit of the stage, limit of the technology, going beyond your imagination. Now, how are we going to realize that? It's a paradox, I would say. The offline performance needs to happen in a physical space, within a limited space. So there's a limit to it, in terms of the camera, the audience. You have to work with those limitations. And then those images or the pictures that you get on that stage is limited within that space. However, when you go online, you're using augmented reality technology and such other technologies that really expands your imagination and the representation of the image. So in terms of going beyond the existing technology, you know how technology always was in advance, going before the content, but we focused on how content can lead technology too. So we actively use new technologies like AR for our concert and live chat services so that we can provide services to our fans. Also, in terms of the limits of the confined spaces, we wanted to overcome that, and we wanted to make a content that everyone all around the world can log in and enjoy, going beyond that confinement. So now on that platform, we staged a Beyond Live concert where the whole world can come in. We also created a business model through some devices. We wanted to make sure that this is a paid service and a new type of mobile items, the contents service through mobile items, and also merchandising. These were all utilized for our paid view business model. Our partner is Naver. As you know, it's Korea's #1 platform. And all around the world, we show the concert, 100-minute long concert. So we picked a specific time slot together. So in US dollars, it was about $30 fee. It's a ticket that you buy for this online concert. So when you buy this ticket, you can watch the live concert, and also you have access to our VOD library, and you can review the VOD many, many times afterwards. And then, of course, this is presented on the world stage, so 9 languages were provided on subtitles. And before we did this project on V Live, we already committed an SNS tool to communicate with our fans, and also on V Live, we did a lot of the interactive communications. V-Live video is prepared.
Get ready.
Oh my god.
Introducing V-Live, the global entertainment platform that connects entertainers and their fans.
Welcome.
Build meaningful connections with fans through live streams.
I think it's been about like a year since we did a live like this.
Grow your fan base with premium live events produced by V.
Listen to our song.
Stay
It's going to be
tuned.
released in an hour.
Congratulations on winning the award.
Okay.
With V-Live Fanship paid subscriptions, reward your most loyal fans with exclusive content, advanced ticket purchases, behind-the-scenes access, merch, and more. And with V-Live Plus, host HD pay-per-view events to monetize live and VOD content globally. With these features and benefits of V-Live, connect with your fans, amplify your brand, monetize your content.
As you saw in this video, the first point was that good contents attracts audience. So that means you have to come up with a good concerts, and to do that, you need a streaming platform that's stable. And since it's a streaming, I'm sure many of you know, there must be a communication tool that allows interactions. So all in all, V-Live was the good partner in that sense. Now I'm going to go through some of the cases that what kind of technologies that we used on our online concerts. So this is the virtual stage, and the backstage video. And in front of the backstage, there was the artist. That's the conventional stage. But since we used the virtual stage, we were able to use AR technology that really heightens those effects and it made the concert a lot more interesting. We used a lot of AR effects that speak to the lyrics and the titles too. So from negative to positive, those effects were used quite proactively. I said that we wanted to go beyond the limitations of the stage. So I think we can even stage a show on the moon or under the water even. That's why we can even bring up the tigers on stage, or a race car, or a dragon can fly over you. And even using the most recent matrix technology, you can see how the members are interacting with a giant member in AR. It's a new experience for everybody. And the most recent concert, we had 200 fans were invited concurrently, and we connected with them. And what's important here is that it's not just connecting with them, but those 200 fans, their voices and their screamings were transmitted to the artists on the stage. So there was an interaction between the fans and the artists. And you know how in concert, the audience cannot really go face to face with the artist, but through our virtual stage, they were able to get in touch one to one. And then there were some tools, digital light sticks that the audience can use, and this is something we developed. And you can tap in your light stick in synchronized, in sync with the stage. And your movement can be mirrored and synced to the concert. So you feel like you're there, as if your light stick is moving or doing some interactions or changes the color. So we wanted to make sure that our fans can feel as if they're there offline. In April 26th, we staged Super M concert, and then to Wave V, that's very popular in China, followed by NCT Dream, and also JYP Entertainment twice also came on board. And there's another whole lineup with other artists. And we are looking forward to collaborating with many capable and popular artists for our platform. And we have been recording all those great references. And thanks to all the efforts and great performances of those artists, we were able to garner concurrent viewers from 129 different countries all at the same time. And almost 1.9 million people viewed our concerts, paid audience. We were able to connect the consumers and the artists, and we find this opportunity very meaningful. And the fans, how did they react? They felt very encouraged that they were able to view the concert anywhere they are. And in Korea, we say watching the show from the first row seat in your own home. So that means all the fans all around the world can occupy the first row seat, no matter where you are, in a concert of your most favorite artist. And multi-view technology and AR technology, these two advanced technologies were actively used so that they can feel as if they're in contact with their loved artists. And those were some of the reactions that we got. And they really look forward to many more concerts like that. But we really hope that after the COVID-19 subsided, we really want to make sure that they come and watch the show offline. And they said that until that time, until that they can join us offline, they will keep on joining us online. So we're going to make sure that we are going to develop ourselves even further and advance even further. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kim. I will now turn it over immediately to Professor E for his remarks.
Okay, today's topic is success and future of the K-pop industry. Korea is such a small country, and K-pop has been developing and growing so much in this in small country, and I would like to focus on that. And so, what Mr. Kim said. So the SM Entertainment was very quickly respond to this changing situation, and this is great momentum. So through this momentum, we could we could assess the potential power of the K-pop industry in the future. So K-pop has about 25 years of history. So recently, it's a phenomenon. So we witnesses the phenomenon in 2018 when the BTS 3 albums and super and like there are many idol groups albums are ranked on the Billboard chart, and also as you all know, the Dynamite, the BTS singer, was ranked in the #1 for 2 weeks at Billboard. So this was very historical moment for the Korea pop scene. So with this has not been made in a moment. So we went through 25 years of the history. So as you see, this Korea majors export item in 2018. So the biggest major export item is #1 is a semiconductor. But when you see the 13th, it's a cultural contents, not only K-pop. There's a publishings and games and other cultural contents are all included in this. So this cultural content industry is ranked in 13th, and then the right after the 13th in this industry, it's home appliances. But home appliance was driving force of the Korea industrialization, so it has significance in 1960s of the industrializations, and but actually, the cultural content beat this home appliances, which was December of the industrialization of 1960s. So it's quickly growing so far. So with this K-pop's industry history, so we could actually see from these producers and idols history. So the pioneer of this K-pop industry was Suman Lee, the chairman of the SM Entertainment. So he established this entertainment company in 1989. So this was the first type of entertainment companies type. And then the HOT was very first idol designed and produced by the SM Entertainment's production system, and the HOT was the very first idol group to go to China market. And later, JYP and YG Entertainment companies were followed, and the second generation of the producer would be the Bang Si-yeok, who is executive producer of Big Hit Entertainment, and he was one of the producer who opened the Golden Age, and then the Blackpink, then NCT and Super M. Like these idol groups are also produced by these executive producers. So it seems like every generation has about 8 years of turnaround. So starting from the HOT, and then the second generation it would be included like with the Boas and other idols who went to Japan market. So then this production system has established, and so the significance of the first generation was the one who entered the Japanese market for the first time, and then the girl generations and other upgraded idol group types were also played a big role in the Asian market, and also the networking with the other artists in other countries were founded, and then that actually creates another distribution systems, and celebrity marketing was also possible by the innovations. And then moving on to the third generation. So third generation that includes the EXO, BTS, Blackpink, and NCT. So their songs were ranked in the Billboard, and then it actually creates a grand global brand image. And numbers of the idol groups were around 400 plus, And 75 idol groups in the first generation, 83 on second, and 200 on third. And how this was possible, and when we look at these elements of the business strategies, how it was successful, and so it's a business strategies. I have a SM entertainment case. There are three parts. The first is idolizations. So with the systematic production system, so they created this production system. So and then they diversified the monetizing system so that could create the profits in a diverse area. And then globalization was made, which is the combined words of globalizations and localizations. And then they pioneered the global market. So in case of SM Entertainment, so SM Entertainment's revenue growth 300 times since 1995. So there are a lot of leverage effect with the other things, retail merchandising, visual contents, and amusements and advertisement. So it actually brought out the great achievement. So before I go on to their culture power, how it was possible is because of the culture technology, what SM Entertainment has initiated. That's initiated by Lee Soo-man, the founder of the SM Entertainment. So the whole process from the creation of the artist to processing, he made this total system from A to Z. So it's a culture to art. So, but if it is culture to art, it's not duplicated or it's not reproduced. But if it is technology, it could actually lead to innovation. So it could become innovations. So that's the one of the core success elements. As you look at the chart, from the bottom, top producer, so executive producer Suman Lee initiated, and then the work with the many core producers in many countries. So many producers were connected from many countries, and these top producers and core producers created this culture technology engines, and with this co-work, idealizing was initiated. So that's how the 20 plus idol groups were launched, and then HOT, BOAS, TVXQs, or EXO, and CT. They are the examples, but there are other group who made a less success than other very well-known names, but it actually has also created the portfolios of the artist. So with this artist portfolio management, that could actually help to secure this stabilized system of productions. And then after the idolization, we're going on to the monetizations. So monetization means like making a profit but from the diverse area. So that start with the media crossover. So music produced and then launched, album came out, and then the advertisement is made, and then from the second album, the artist could go on to dramas, and then that creates another profit and revenue. Then they could actually access to the media, so it actually creates a diverse synergy effect. And third is globalization. It's a combined words of globalization of the localization. So many countries like Japan, Thailand, or Vietnam, and many other countries, the entertainment company opened the companies in other countries. So and then that helps for the localizations and them creating the networks with many producers and artists, producers in many other countries, and creates the music contents that works in many countries' demand, and that could we achieve about 200 26 billion views on YouTube. So that's also another element for success. So with these three strategies, understanding these three strategies, we could analyze the success of the K-pop. So when we understand the K-pop industry as innovation products. So innovation, this word I use from Schumpeter's innovation theory. The first is, okay, so when the new product came first, and then new product would be the visual music. So it's not just listening, as you can see the music. And then innovate the production process and create a new market with the fandom. Then it started with the overseas niche market, but then entering into the global fandom and either producing system, and then the pioneer the new market in Japan. Then celebrity marketing was also created, and then create the global brand image with the Billboard #1. So who initiates an innovation? So it's driven by innovator or producers. So if I could name some of innovative producers who is also entrepreneurs, JYP, Park Jin-young, and Big Hit Entertainment, Park Bang-seok, that's driven by their strategies and their work. And if I could just show you this chart, so the momentum of the innovation leads driven by the innovators, and then enter with the entertainment and with their own strategies. And with this changing environments, the five producers were playing their roles. So when the K-pop first started, we had some issues like illegal downloading, and actually that declines the record market. And this was crisis, but these producers, they changed this crisis to opportunities by their own strategies, which are idealization, monetization, and localizations. So at the time, so the middle class were also increasing globally at that time. So this was also matched with that momentum. So these are the points of the K-pop success. And based on this K-pop innovation, we could foresee the future of the K-pop innovation. So not only with these five pioneer producers and also new generation producers can join in these innovations. And also the COVID-19 pandemic is a crisis for the entertainment industry. And then now there's a threat that the music industry is becoming more digitalized with the more and more new technologies. And with this crisis, how we can overcome this crisis, that maybe strategy would be the first new concept idol group, or cooperate with the global media companies or the music companies. And also another strategy would be to introduce the online concert, like Mr. Kim explained. So music itself has a strong potential. So it only covers like 0.1% of the total GDP globally, but there are a lot of halo effects. So it's very attractive industry for the nations as well. So I have the data that K-pop export, if we export $1 of K-pop, that is equal to $17.7 of the other consumer product export. So the changes of technologies. So the Mr. Kim explained the many technology in this online concert. So converging the technology and the music can change the world, and then it actually opens a new chapter of a music scene. So with this analysis, the momentum of K-pop innovations is, I think the K-pop is still very strong to adapt with this changing environment and change the crisis to opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you very much to both of you. Before we start the discussion, I want to introduce our third speaker for today, Professor Ko Jong-min. Professor Ko is a professor of culture and arts at the Hangik University Business School. He also currently serves as the president of the Future Industry Strategy Institute, a think tank providing research and consulting services in the fields of creative industry and arts, the knowledge service industry, the Korean wave, and the cultural industry. Before joining Hangik University, Dr. Ko was senior researcher at the Samsung Economic Research Institute, where he also worked at the Samsung Entertainment Group as the planning director. Professor Ko, welcome.
Thank you for your introduction. Well, listening to your two presentations, I feel like these two presentations are very much interlinked with each other. Mr. Kim talked about the elements that what pushed up K-pop and the three elements Professor Lee did, and Mr. Kim also talked about the platform and innovation and innovators. These were all the key elements that drove growth of K-pop. And Mr. Kim is really the innovator, and they presented a case of innovation. So these two presentations really spoke with each other. I'd like to make some comments. We're going through a pandemic era, and I feel that this content is a very good content for this era and also a good business model. And I was quite surprised. I think there are many advantages. All these activities that we were able to do offline, now going online, there must be advantages because the whole world can be welcomed to that online stage, and interaction is also possible. The fans and the artists can speak with each other. So that's another merit. During the offline live concert, there's a limit to the number of audience, but going online opens up the door to that unlimited number of audience who can log in. In the past, there was a holographic technology that was used. So it was like holographic representation of the artist on the stage. However, there was a restriction and limitation. So after discovering those disadvantages, the technology was discarded. But with the Beyond Live technology, there's a real artist on stage actively using those interesting visual effects and augmented reality effects. So it's quite different from past, and I felt that the concert was very human, with a human touch, and then it's a next step up from that past. So I look forward to seeing some of the advanced business models and technology that I hope that this beyond reality, beyond live technology can be the standard for the world to follow. And Professor Lee talked about the three elements: idealization, globalization, and monetization. And I agree. And Professor Lee's presentation showed that the cultural content is the 13th biggest export of Korea. And it's a surprising number. But what I want to get to is that from number 1 to 12, there's no service industry. That means these are all manufacturing industry. But number 13 is from a service industry, so this is a significant takeaway. And the Korean industry, Korea is not the powerhouse when it comes to service, but the Hallyu and the cultural contents standing at number 13 is quite surprising, and there must be the reason, and it's something that other countries can benchmark. And behind that are the three strategies that Professor Lee talked about. And as he said, there are innovators who made a key role. For example, they adopted the training system, also applying the producing system to Korean situation. And since there's a limit to Korean market, from early on, they always thought about how to break into world stage. And they made a lot of attempts and innovations. And in that, I feel that Mr. Lee Soo-man played a great role too. So I'd like to conclude my comment, and I would like to ask a question to the speakers. First, to Professor Lee, you talked about the three strategies. But during the pandemic era, the paradigm is shifting quickly. Now, even during this pandemic era, those three strategies are valid, you think? Or will there be an additional strategy to take? That's my question to Professor Lee. And to Mr. Kim, you said item contents on mobile. So it's like an advertisement item. Can you elaborate on that concept? And secondly, this Beyond Live service, comparing to the past business model, how is the profitability? Did you see did you make profit out of this business model? I think this concludes my comment and question. Over you, Serena.
Thank you. Professor E, would you like to start answering the question of Professor Ko?
Okay, sorry, I spent a little more time, so I will just make my answer brief. So what this, if there are many new strategies coming out to counteract with this crisis. So I would call it fusion strategies. So fusioning means the fusioning between content and another content, and also the converging between a technology and content, like the technology plus music. So that's the online technologies strategies will also come out. And K-pop industry is growing, and there will be other culture conflicts, and then how we can embrace the different cultures or multiculturalism. So there will be many other strategies to come out.
Okay, I had two questions to answer. One is the new type of digital item, and you wanted me to give you some real cases of that business model. Well, since it's a mobile environment, we developed specific contents for that. So while watching the concert on your mobile phone, if you want to give a shout out to your artist, then you can make a donation. So that shows you how passionate you are as a fan. And then you can send it by a heart or emoji or light stick. And also, there's a offline stand, a physical stand for the mobile phone for you to better enjoy the show. So that was part of this business model, and we have a whole additional items like that in plan. And secondly, when you use a VR device, then you can change your dress, your avatar can change. There's a possibility of going into that realm also. And second question was about the profitability. The offline concerts are very powerful in terms of that. However, the offline concert, the profitability of the offline concert is limited to the number of spectators that can be seated within the auditorium multiplied by the ticket fee. So if you want to maximize the profit, that means you have to stage more and more concerts. And of course, you can hike up the price from $10 to $100 or so. However, beyond live, in principle, it can reach the whole world. So once it goes over the break-even point, then there's no limit. So say you started with a 50,000 audience, then you're making money, and a lot of money. And beyond live's business model is not it's not limited to our online concert. I said we're tackling both online and offline. Before, when you do the offline concert, you record the concert and then you sell the contents to the broadcaster for a fee. And then there's a value chain. And then after it's aired, then it goes to VOD. However, beyond live, that online concert can become a DB package. And then anywhere in the world, the fans can log on and watch the show wherever they are. So it really changes the whole value chain. And also, screen can be expanded to not just mobile, but to TV. So end screens. So there are multiple screens that it can expand it to. So the future is very bright.
Thank you. It's now time for the audience Q&A coming from YouTube. Unfortunately, we have only time for a few, so I just start right away addressing Mr. Kim. In your experience so far, what are the best ways for entertainers to connect with fans in a virtual setting? And maybe additionally, how does it feel for the entertainers to perform virtually instead of live?
Well, I want to focus on K-pop only. K-pop is a music genre, but it's based on fandom, and it's a fandom business. It's closely related to fandom. Audience comes in and listen to the music and look at the performance, but the interactivity between the fan and the artist, that's the key. Of course, when you log on to our online concert, but you don't actually feel like you're there, but we have a lot of devices and effects that make sure that you enjoy the show and make sure that you interact with your artist so that you feel that you're connected to your artist. When you see a live performance, you see how fans shout out to the artist. That's their interaction. And so to realize that on the virtual setting, we made sure that there's some breaks or intermissions in the song so that audience can do the shout out. And also, we want to make sure that the setup ensures that everybody is there as a community, as one group, and we have visual effects to make sure that. And perhaps I'm going a little bit beyond the limit, but it's like, you're at home, so you can have a beer together with your virtual colleagues, virtual fans, and then you can click on the beer item on the screen, then that directly goes to the delivery service of the beer and it's delivered to you. So such services are in plan.
Thank you, Mr. Kim. I would like to address the last question to Professor Yi Chang-woo and to Professor Ko Jung-min. I would like to hear your assessment. How do you imagine these platforms to look like, excuse me, also after the pandemic ends, and what impact these new technologies will have on the entertainment industry worldwide?
So are you saying the K-pop online platform? So after pandemic situation?
Exactly.
So as Mr. Kim presented, there are many attempts are tried, and not many people know about it yet. This is very innovative effort, and we don't know how it will become, and it's hard to predict right now. But like there are many new technologies like AR or holographic images, and there are many new technologies to be able to be applied, and so and will give a big change, and this will be big changes in the global entertainment industries, regardless of the online concert or offline concert. And I think by introducing and applying many different technology, they could introduce new business model, and that would be. I think that this is game changers in the global entertainment industry, and the matter that who's going to be the winner in this changing industry, we also have to look and see.
Well, this is how I think. After the pandemic, the services such as Beyond Live, will it survive, or are we going to go back to offline? That's the question. I think even after the coronavirus goes away, I think such online services coexist with offline services. So I'm talking about people getting used to it. At first, the online things or virtual things, there's a resistance to it. These days, all the lecturing is happening online and the students complain and the professors complain. However, these days, they find it quite helpful and advantageous because they can reach out to many students. And as a professor myself, I don't need to go out to the lecture room and I can do it at home. So people are getting used to this new setup. So if we ask the students to come back to the campus after the pandemic, I think there will be some people who will complain, even saying that, oh, I don't want to go on to the campus. So same thing goes for the situation. The online concert will coexist with offline. Of course, the offline concerts won't go away, and the offline live concerts will happen and will be revitalized. But at the same time, the online concerts will survive and will continue with its own business model, reaching out to the appropriate audience.
Thank you. With this, I would like to thank our experts again, Mr. Kim, Professor Yi, and Professor Ko, the Korea Foundation once more for collaborating with us, and the audience for your questions and comments. For more webcasts and discussions, Visit us on asiasociety.org/Switzerland or tune in here on Korea Foundation's YouTube channel. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you. You.